What's up, guys? Today we're going to do something a little bit different. This is the setup that I got for my newest customer. She wanted an all black Jubilee bracelet with a black case, see-through case back on an NH35 movement. But here's where we're going to be different with this watch. Her husband had a German Shepherd of 15 years that recently passed away. And for the dial, we came up with a really cool idea to use part of his collar on the actual dial itself. So we're going to do something really cool today with this build. It's going to be a custom black dial with a piece of the collar. And here's the collar. So it's got these red and black checkered type material on it. We didn't know which way we wanted to go, whether it was, side by side, but ultimately we wanted to do a vertical stripe. Or vertical to have the deer there in the middle with the on either side having the checkered the red and black checkered on there. So let's get this started. All right, so there is the black case back, dial, the NH35 movement, which I already did. I didn't put it in the video, but I did put his name, which was Oakley, on the rotor of the dial to kind of give a little bit more, personality to this watch. So I can make, it's gonna make it more memorable for her husband, and keep the pup alive in another way. So as you can see there, I put his name Oakley on the rotor, and this is the NH35 movement. Without further ado, let's get working on this dial. So I did trim the deer first because it was kind of the stripes were horizontal, and which made the deer, not be vertical on the dial itself. So I did switch it around. So I cut out a circular piece off just to show the deer. Now I'm marking just where I want the outer edge of this dial to be black. And right there in the center, I'm going to have to do some trimming because this fabric is about 1 millimeter thick, and I did test it out earlier and it did not work well with the hands of the movement. It kept getting snagged on the fabric. So I'm making these vertical lines as a little guide, and I'm going to take my Dremel and I'm going to thin out this dial a little bit. Just skimming the top. It doesn't need to go crazy, but I want it to be, you're not going to see this underneath the fabric anyways, but I just want to skim maybe 0.5 millimeter off of the top of this so the hand can move freely when I attach the fabric. So right here, I'm just taking basic Dremel and, skimming it down. And the deer portion of this dial, it was actually thicker than the red and black checkers, so I had to kind of, press a little firmer here, and then I'm going to take the bigger sander and just smooth it out a little bit, make it a smooth, even surface, just thinning out the dial a little bit. The whole dial doesn't need to be sanded down, but I just wanted to make enough room for the hands to be able to move freely with the fabric below the hands. And here's the glue that I used for the dial itself and the fabric. It's this E6000. It's a clear glue that doesn't soak through fabric and won't turn your fabric white like it would with a regular type of super glue that you'd find. So this is actually meant for fabric and metal. You can even paint on it, but we're not painting on that. All right, so now I'm gonna place the deer head, or the deer, onto the center of the dial. And we'll poke punch a center hole into it, because that's where the posts for the hands are gonna go. And then I'm just gonna really roll. I'm using one of my tools here just to roll it, make sure it's nice and flat, evenly. So all the glue spreads evenly, and it gives me a good flat surface so that the hands can remain clear. I'm going to place it on the dial onto the movement. There are 2 feet. I've already cut the feet off. You've seen it in previous videos, but these dials come with extra feet. You just need to trim them off and then match them to the movement itself. And I'm just gonna put the hour hand on just to give it a quick test. So using the hand pusher, give it a little bit of pressure, and let's see if this thing will spin. Looking good so far. It's not snagging on any of the fabric. All right, I think we're good. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna add more of that E6000 glue to the bottom portion. This is where I'm gonna put the red and black checkered. Spread it nice and evenly. It doesn't have to be too much. Just using a toothpick to spread it on there. I already pre-cut the fabric to fit right where I want it to fit on the dial. There we go. Isn't that looking nice? I really hope they like it. They had their dog for 15 years. And this was their collar, so really, I'm grateful they're giving me the chance to, you know, work on the style a little bit for them. Give them a memory they can cherish, hopefully forever. This goes onto the upper part of the fabric here. Again, just a little bit of the E6000 fabric glue. And now the edges are a little bit kind of loose, so I'm gonna just put a tiny bit more of that fabric glue onto the corners. Make sure there's no way any loose fabric's gonna come off of this dial and interrupt the hands. So what good is a watch if it doesn't work, right? Just gonna make sure everything's on there nice and firm, checking all the edges. And she didn't want it perfect. She wanted it to look like it was kind of, like it was used, because this was a used collar. She wanted it to look handmade. Now I'm going to take a little bit of paint thinner with a Q-tip and clean each sides of the dial here where the fabric's not touching. That way there's no excess glue, dirt, or oil, or any kind of contaminants when I paint the 2 sides of the dial. A couple of swipes on each side. Perfect. All right. And then finally we're gonna just trim up the top portion so it doesn't get stuck in the case. Just basic pair of scissors. Trim any loose frays that I see. I did see a few frays, so I'm going to actually just kind of spread it out a little bit here. I'm always checking for any high spots. Okay, now I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and just trim up the edges a little bit here. Get rid of this excess fabric here on the sides. Gently cutting the fabric. There we go. One little straggler left. Perfect. Got it. Now the other side. Get rid of that last straggler. A little more glue to the edge. I noticed that part was starting to lift. Almost squeegeeing it, keeping it nice and flat. I'm going to do the edge on this side one more time. You really don't want this fabric coming off of this dial. All right, give it one more final clean. You can either use paint thinner or isopropyl alcohol, whichever works, whichever you have. I have both. All right, so I painted one side already black, as you can see there. And then here's the other side black. Boom. I also decided I wanted to add the 4 markers, 2 on each side, to kind of give it some symmetry and a little bit more pop. So as you can see, I added 4 markers. I added the 3, or not the 3, I added the 2, the 4, the 8, and the 10 markers. And here I am just cleaning the top of them because they were all black, but I wanted to make sure that we could see them, so I just kind of removing any of the excess paint that may have gotten on top of the markers there. All right. Just testing out the date now. Gotta make sure the date wheel still spins. Give it one 24-hour go around. Hopefully you can see it. And it's about to click over now. Now you know it's at midnight, so we're gonna go back to putting on the hands. First hand is the hour hand. Make sure it's at the midnight position. That blue piece is a piece of erotico. It's like a silly putty. It helps hold the hand in place. And I'm just going around, testing it out. All right, looks like it's free of any kind of snags or anything like that. So we're gonna move on to the next. It's very close to midnight. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, next up is the minute hand. Here I am using the Rodico to hold just the tip. And then a pusher to push it onto the post. This can be tricky sometimes. You gotta kind of hear it click. And click. No. Click. I think I got it. Nope. Click. Ah, there we go. Got it. I can already tell it's starting to snag. So I'm gonna take my tweezers, just give it a slight lift up on there, because I think it was just a tad bit bent. So we're gonna lift up the hand just a tad, make sure it has full clearance. All right, spinning freely, that's what we like to see. All the way around, no clearance issues, perfect. All right, finally, let's put on the final hand. This is always the most difficult hand, as there's a post on this post. It's so super minute, you actually should use one of those magnifier things. I don't remember, I have one. But yeah. You just gotta fit directly onto that post. You can actually feel it when you're using the Rodico. You can kind of feel it hover over the post. All right, got it on there, but I had to get a little piece of the Rodico off the tip of the hand, the tip of the second's hand here. And you'll notice I am using gloves. These are cheap ones. I got at Daiso. I'm actually gonna go get some better ones. These finger cuts, they suck. I want the black ones again. Just looks more elegant. All right, as you can see, it also got stuck here. So I'm going to take the pusher, slightly give it a little bit of an adjustment. Let's see if it clears that minute hand. Does it clear? Oh yeah, it cleared. All right, give it a little push. Also, I didn't show in this video, but you do need to take off the crown and crown stem, and then cut the stem itself. But I've shown that in many of my other videos. You can check back on the old ones to watch a tutorial on that. I didn't want this one to be too long. All right, so there's the case and the dial and the movement. And make sure it's placed nice and perfect within the case. I do have to move it just a little bit so the stem and crown can fit perfectly in there. A little more adjustment. Okay guys, one final step I want to just show you is this little ring on the top right hand corner. That is to seal the movement to make sure no water gets in. So you need to put this, you need to oil it and grease it up. So I got this little greaser, just put it in here, close the cap, give it a few turns, gets it nice and oiled up. Then you're gonna put the gasket back in the case. I'm now taking this rubber ball, deflated rubber ball. It can be flated or inflated. It just gives it some grip so you can tighten the case back onto the case. Give it a little cleanup. Make sure there's no fingerprints or anything like that. Always clean your case crystal along with the case back. Make sure there's no fingerprints anywhere along the case. I've shown this many times in my other videos, so I didn't want to just bore you guys with the same thing. Isn't that case pretty though? I love a sleek black case. See, open case back. I really hope the owner's gonna love it. And then let's take a look at that dial. Oh man, that's so cool. Now the owner can have a memory of his dog wherever it goes. I love doing this one. It was so heartwarming. Get off any imperfections. All right, so now we're going to move on to the final piece. That is attaching the bracelet to the case itself. Done this many videos. You need a spring bar tool because these are not quick release spring bars. Didn't come with this particular case, but you just want to get a spring bar, pusher, and put it in, or adjust it to where it can fit nicely in the holes in the lugs. Give it a little twist and shake, make sure it's in there firmly. Move to the other side. We're almost done with this, folks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you watched till the end of this video, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I'm trying to grow this channel to the best of my abilities. I have a very busy life, 2 jobs, family. This is just a fun little hobby. All right, I got it. Boom. There it is. Final cleanup. Let that dial do the talking. Beautiful.